Welcome back to Travel Bites with me, David Rock. So today I want to answer a question that I got asked a couple days ago. Could you do a video about the actual mechanics of a visa run? So let's do just that. And at the end of the video, I'm going to get into the most common visa run that we do in Southeast Asia, which consists of leaving Vietnam, going to another country, and then coming back to Vietnam. And you're gonna notice the theme is gonna be a little more set on Vietnam in this video, and here's why. As of July of 2022, Vietnam is the only country that requires you to actually leave the country to get a new visa or renew a visa. Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos, you can do this within the country so many times before they require you to leave. So with that being said, let's get into the first part. What is a visa run and why do we have to do them? Visa runs ideally are just leaving a country on a tourist visa and coming back to get a new tourist visa. And do understand, this isn't extending a visa. This is leaving the country and applying for a new tourist visa and getting a brand new visa with a new ID number and all that stuff. The reason we do visa runs is normally 3 different reasons. Number 1, you exhausted all your renewal extensions that you're allowed to use on the current visa you have. Number 2, the country just doesn't allow you to extend whatever visa you have. Number 3, you're being asked to leave to come back to update the visa type that you have. So now that we know why we have to do them, let's get into the next subject. Ways to avoid visa runs. There's ideally 2 different ways to avoid doing visa runs in general. Number 1 is just getting a job locally at a local company within the country or an approved job. I know there's a lot of drop shifting expats and whatnot. As long as the government approves them, this will help you get a work permit. Do check below. You can get a TEFL. It's 50% off. It's all online and it covers 120 hours. My advice is get it because it's like insurance and you never know what's going to happen. And then the second option is just getting married to a local citizen of the country you're in, which will avoid all tourist nonsense and get you on a marriage resident status. So we know how to avoid the visa runs, but what about, can you get a visa extension? So what countries in the Southeast Asia area allow you to just do extensions and avoid altogether doing all this visa run nonsense? Number 1, Thailand. You're allowed to extend at least once on a tourist visa. Some countries you're allowed more, but you are allowed at least 1 extension for the most part if you have a tourist visa. Number 2 is Cambodia. Cambodia has actually got a really aggressive renewal process and in a positive way, meaning you could extend up to a year on a tourist visa. Number 3 around us is Laos. Laos is an interesting one, and when I was there, I had to stay a few extra days. My thinking is I need to extend this whole thing. Laos actually allows you to extend day by day if you want. So you can pay, I think it was like $2.50 or $2.80 per day. These 3 countries, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos, you're allowed to do this within the country. Which brings us to Vietnam. Vietnam does not allow any extension of their visas at all. In regards to an e-visa, which is a tourist visa in Vietnam, you're not allowed to extend this visa at all. I've seen a lot of people saying, you could try Da Nang, you could try Hanoi, Saigon does it sometimes. I went to all 3 of these immigration offices and all 3 of them said no. If you do plan on coming to Vietnam more than a month, long term, whatever your case is, do expect visa runs to be part of your process living here. So with all the mechanics kind of figured out and explained, let's go ahead and get into the e-visa and how do you get an e-visa? Now, if you're doing a visa run to get out of Vietnam and come back in to do another 30-day visa, the best spot to go is usually Moc Bai in Cambodia. What you want to have is, first off, you need to have 2 e-visas. You need to have the Vietnam e-visa when you're returning. You also need to have a Cambodian e-visa going there. Now, depending on your country, the regulations can be different. Check the iVisa link below for the information. And hell, you could do both visas right there on the same website at the same time and just pay it in one flu swoop and you're done with it. If you try to walk back to Vietnam to do a VOA, you might not be able to do it. Sometimes you can bribe your way through it. I've heard stories about it, but personally, being somebody that's lived in Vietnam a long time, don't go through the scams. Just go ahead and get your e-visa for Cambodia and get the one for Vietnam before you leave. Now, once you get the e-visa, be it through ivisa.com or if you go through the government websites for each different country, they're gonna send you an email. The email is just gonna be an e-visa that you print out and you give to the government. Now on these e-visas, it's usually gonna have a window in there. So say between July 1st and July 30th. Understand that this is a window where you can enter the country, meaning that your 30 days or 60 or 90 days of how long your visa is doesn't start until the day you go into that country and get the stamp. The most common visa run you'll hear about in Southeast Asia is Vietnam to another country coming back to Vietnam. And this is simply because Vietnam doesn't really have good visas for long-term living if you're not pretty much an English teacher or married to somebody. And most people go through Moc Bai, which is a border connecting Vietnam and Cambodia. It's pretty close to Saigon. And if you look online, you'll see a ton of horror stories. Let's talk about that for a minute. What was the difference from Moc Bai border crossing compared to before the pandemic and after the pandemic? Before the pandemic, you had to deal with scammers, vendors, overpriced charter buses, border officials demanding money for no apparent reason, people inside trying to haggle extra visas and expedited service, and then just straight up theft. And what I mean by theft, person that's a non-Vietnamese citizen will go into the Moc Bai border, they'll give their passport to this person with their visa, everything finished and done, the $25 for the stamp. He takes your documents, he walks somewhere, and he comes back saying, hey, I need $50 extra, I can get this done right now. Those are part of the horror stories that we heard about at Moc Bai, and I'm not the only one. Most people dealt with one or two of these problems every time they went there. So what about after the pandemic? Vietnam and Cambodia both went to e-visa style immigration process, mostly for vaccination verification and traveler's insurance verification. The really good part about this is everything was taken care of online. You just went to the Vietnamese website. If you can filter through that mess, you pay for your visa there, and then you go to Cambodia's site, you do the same thing. Or again, the iVisa link below, save some money, do it all in one spot. That was the full process. You were done. You didn't talk to anybody. You didn't have to deal with any scammers or anything. And this was the big change post-pandemic. And the great thing about this is when you did that border run, you weren't getting hassled for extra money. There was no stamp fees. There was no bribery fees. There was no fees because you paid everything online, and the e-visa says right there, paid. Even government officials are no longer, from my experience, hassling for money. It's just they're doing their job. This also removed 99% of those fake paper company visas everybody's heard about. Going back from the year 2000 all the way to 2020, you would hear about people having business visas for a year, living in Vietnam, retired, not having to work, doing nothing. This e-visa process actually eliminated that, majority of it. If you come to Vietnam, you have to either be married or produce some kind of a skill or service for the country that the government sees fit. So how do we do a border run post-pandemic now? Number one, get a Vietnam and a Cambodian e-visa before you even leave your house. And to stress on this, do not leave Vietnam planning on coming back without an e-visa. You can technically do a VOA at Moc Bai border, but it is very hard, and you will go back to the old school way of doing things, meaning bribe money. In regards to these visas, print out 2 of each, so 2 Cambodia or Thailand, wherever you're going to, and 2 Vietnam visas. Also, if you're leaving Vietnam, have your old e-visa with you because the government officials gonna ask you for your old e-visa to verify your current stamp. Number 4, obviously have your passport. If you do have a vaccination card, bring it just to expedite things. And number 5, finally, bring 2 passport-sized pictures colored, white background, all that good stuff. Better safe than sorry. And that's it, easy, right? Getting to the actual border itself. You can take a private car or a taxi like I usually do. You can take a charter bus, which are usually found in the Bui Vinh area. And with those, expect to pay between $50 to $65 per. Here's a little pro tip, I guess you call it. Make sure it comes back. A lot of these buses will actually take you all the way to PP, Cambodia, or Siem Reap. Make sure the bus stops at the border and goes back. If you don't, expect to pay another $20, $25 to get back to Saigon on a completely different bus. And once you get all that done, you are good to go for the next 30 days until your next visa run. So if you are planning on coming to Vietnam and not working or getting married, border runs are gonna be a big part of your time living here in Vietnam. And if you do decide to start working in Vietnam or get married in Vietnam, you can definitely change your tourist visa into that respected other visa without leaving the country. If you guys have any other questions about them, please let me know below and I'll reply to you and I'll answer them the best I can. And if it did help and you want to stay up to date on travel videos, do hit that subscribe button so you get updates to my newest videos that come out. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much. But either way, guys, I think that's it for today. So I will see you again.